Hello students, welcome back to another video session. As per the last two video based on the projectile motion, in first video you have seen that we have discussed about the basic concept of why a particle follows a path of curve, right? In second lecture you have seen that where I have discussed about how to find time of flight in case of a general case, a normal projectile in the sense where initial and final point both are taken on same horizontal level. And at the same time we have also discussed about what happens when a projectile is discussed between two such points initially and finally which are not available at same horizontal level. That means whenever there is a vertical separation between initial and final point in a projectile motion, there we cannot apply the general formula of time of flight 2u sin theta by g, right? In the general formula you have seen that the 2u sin theta by g, which is the time of flight, the formula to find the time of flight, that is the time taken to travel from one point to another point in a projectile. So that 2u sin theta by g is only applicable when a projectile is discussed like this. Suppose a particle is projected with some velocity u at an angle theta starting from A, and it is discussed up to the point C, B being the highest point. So when A and C are taken place, A and C appearing on same horizontal level, there only we can write down the time of flight as 2u sin theta by g. I have said that this formula is not applicable wherever C is at some height above than the level of A, or if C is at somewhere below the level of A, right? Now question is, this much we have discussed in our previous class. Then what we are going to do in this? Are we going to talk about the same terms here also? No. We are going to discuss few problems based on this particular type, right? So first of all, as because we want to know this concept clearly, that there must be some question going on in your mind that what will be the process to find out the time of flight in those cases wherever we are saying that initial point and final point of a projectile are not appearing on same horizontal level. Then what to do? Let's see. Suppose I'm discussing one problem where a particle is thrown with certain velocity, let it be 10 meter per second at an angle of 60 degree, right? And it is discussed up to this point. The final point is at some height, let it be, it is the half of the maximum height. C is this, let this is be the maximum height point, this is the highest point B, and this is the maximum height, right? So we know that how to find the maximum height of a projectile. If we know the maximum height formula, that if h is equal to u square sin square theta by g. Okay, as you know that general formula for finding maximum height, u square sin square theta by 2g. Sorry, u square sin square theta by 2g, right? Now you may ask that how do we get this maximum height? This maximum height we get it using the initial vertical velocity u sin theta into half of the time of flight, that is u sin theta by g. You know that when we are talking about the calculation of maximum height, it is this maximum height can be attained in a journey from A to B, and A to B is a half of the total flight, so that time is u sin theta by g plus half g. G will be written minus y because g will act vertically downward, that into t square, that means u square sin square theta by g square. So we can cancel out this g. So now see that u square sine square theta, here also u sine theta, u sine theta. So we are getting that option of u square sine square theta. So that means u square sine square theta by g minus u square sine square theta by 2g. So obviously final result will be u square sine square theta by 2g, right? So this is the maximum height. So as you know the value of u, as you know the value of u, as you know the value of theta, so you can get the maximum height, that is u being 10, given its square 100, sine 60 is root 3 by 2, so that is 3 by 4, right, and into 2 into g, that is 10. Taking g as 10, we can write down this value, so cancelling it out, so it is 15 by 4 meters. So maximum height according to the given value, we are getting it how much? It is 15 by 4 meter. So if maximum height is 15 by 4 meters, so as per question, this is half of this, so it will be 15 by 8 meter. So that means a projectile has to be discussed, the time of flight of a projectile has to be discussed from the point A to the point C, where vertical separation is 15 by 8. So now if we are asked to calculate the time of journey from A to C, C being the position in the descending half of the motion, then what we should do, importantly, use vertical separation, between A and C to calculate TAC. To calculate time of journey between any two points when they are not appearing on a same horizontal level, then what should we do? We should use the vertical separation between them. So that's why after knowing this maximum height value and based on the half of it, which is 15 by 8, using this vertical displacement, right, using this vertical displacement 15 by 8, we can now find out the time of flight. So again, see, in a journey of A to C, now I know the vertical displacement, I know the initial velocity u sine theta, I can calculate the time. Again using AC is equal to ut plus half at square along vertical. I can use this formula, equation of kinematics under constant acceleration, right, along vertical. So along vertical, S will be that is 15 by 8, u will be this u sine theta, so that will be 10 into sine 60, right, 10 into sine 60, that into t, minus half into g, that into t square. So this is a quadratic, we are getting, this is a quadratic in t, okay. So 15 by 8 equals to 10, that is 5 root 3 t minus 5t square. So more simplified way, we can write down t square minus root 3t, okay, plus 3 by 8 equals to 0. What I have done, 5 can be taken common, so I can keep it 3, 5 can be cancelled out, right. So yes, we are getting a quadratic in t. Now solving this quadratic, t can be found, right. So suppose now question arises, if we get two real solution of t here, if we get two real solution of t and both are positive, for example, sometimes it happens in a quadratic, for finding time of flight, time of journey from one point to another point, sometimes we get only one valid value of t, other value gets cancelled. Suppose if t comes negative, so obviously we can't consider time as a negative quantity, right. Here if we get t as two possible values, That means let the two values of t, let the two values of t such as t1 and t2 both positive real number, both positive real values. Then what happens when both the values are coming positive real number? So that means valid value. You can't neglect any one of them. Then what does it mean? Then that means, see, the gaining this vertical height, which is half of the maximum height, that can a projectile attain twice. What does it mean twice? The particle can also, while crossing this point, let it be P, while going in ascending order, ascending phase of motion, suppose when particle is passing through the point P while going from A to B in ascending part, at that time also this height is h by 2, and we are actually concerned with that same height, but it is in the descending phase of motion. So that's why out of two value t1 and t2, the smaller one t1 for example, that will be actually time of journey from A to P, and the bigger value of t, if it is t2, then it will talk about the time of journey from A to C. Got my point? Right? I hope you have got this one, because for both while crossing P or while reaching P or at C, both cases, we can say that we are reaching to a vertical displacement of h by 2 while passing through the point P or while reaching the point C, and in both cases A being the initial point, because of which we can calculate the vertical separation as half of the maximum height. So that's why one value of valid value of t from the solution will be the t from A to P. That will be the ascending part time taken, and again we can reach to that displacement when particle reaches to the point C on also, and that time A to C will be that journey time, that is another value of t as t2, when we can again say that we are at half of the maximum height. Is that okay? I hope you have understand this, right? Okay, so this is one case where we can say that yes, initial point and final point are at different level, and final point is at some height above than the initial point. Then how can we calculate the time of journey, right? We are not using the general 2u sin theta by g formula, right? In a same way, if suppose it is said that the final point, a particle is projected from A with certain value u at an angle theta, and it is discussed up to this level C with respect to initial level of projection A. Let this is with the topmost point B, let's see. So there is a vertical separation h, and this time the vertical separation between initial to final point is going vertically downward, right? So here I can say the vertical displacement between A and C, is equal to h, and that is in the downward direction, right? It is downward in direction. So using this vertical separation, right? Using this vertical separation, again we can find out the time of flight. You can do it in two ways. For example, this time I am considering this is someone Q. Okay, so time of journey from A to C, you can write down it is TAQ plus TQC. You can do this. You can write down it is something as TAQ plus TQC. Got my point? If you write down in this way, so TAQ is that part of the projectile which says A and Q both are appearing on the same level of projection. So that's why you can directly write down this is 2u sin theta by g, and this additional TQC you can find out. For that, this will be the initial point to get it Q, to get the time of Q to C. As because this value is u, so this will also be u. As because this angle is theta, this angle will also be theta. We know that at same horizontal level, the velocity magnitude are same in value, and direction wise they makes same angle with the horizontal. So that's why at q the velocity magnitude will be as same as that the value of velocity at a. It was u here at a, so at q also it is u, and direction wise it is also making theta angle with the horizontal, as we can see it at the starting point, that is at a. So therefore we can calculate the value of TQC and we can add with TAQ to get the overall value. So therefore to get TQC we will write down minus h is equal to u sin theta into t minus half gt square. Taking this sign convention is indicating that upward is positive and downward is taken negative. You can reverse the order also. If you want, you can take downward negative. In that case upward will be positive. In that case, if you take downward positive, then h and g will be plus and u sin theta part will be written minus, but if you solve then t will come same. So I will suggest that when you are already using s is equal to ut plus half at square formula to get the time of journey from q to c, and then you are adding that calculation with 2u sin theta to answer the overall time of journey, that is from a to c, then why don't you use this format indirectly between a and c? Because ultimately if we use the vertical separation from a to c, so in between a to q there is no vertical displacement taken place, right? I can directly say in a journey from a to c, net displacement h downward in direction. Net displacement in a journey from a to c is h, and that too in the downward direction. So being the upward velocity u sin theta, taking this point as the starting point t equal to 0, and this is at t second, right? So overall time of journey can be calculated by considering, again same way, minus h is equal to u sin theta plus minus half gt square. So you may raise one question. We are using absolutely same formula to get the time of qc, right? Oh sorry, I have made one mistake. In this 2 will be negative, because when we are writing it for q to c only, because that time u was this one and components were something like this, u cos theta and u sin theta. So that's why all three are same in direction, so ultimately it gets cancelled out. This is the difference of using the same formula for q to c. All are of same sign because all are in the downward direction, but when we are applying the same formula for same vertical displacement, but we are using it from a to c, that time downward taken negative, upward is positive. So that's why two different sign is, you can see, positive sign is with u sin theta and negative sign is available with h, that is displacement, as well as with the g, or vice versa. If you take downward positive, then upward has to be taken negative. So different sign, plus minus sign options you are getting once you are using the total path to find out the time of flight. From this you will get the t directly for a to c, and in this part the value of t you will get, that will be only TQC, and that calculated value has to be added with 2u sin theta to get the overall time of flight. Are you getting it? So ultimately what we have come to know from this videos, from this lecture, that whenever initial point and final point are appearing at two different levels, then using the vertical separation and using the general formula s is equal to ut plus or minus half at square that can be used along vertical to find out the time of journey between initial and final. Not only this formula will be used not only in finding the total time of flight between initial and final, rather between any two intermediate points. Suppose between A to B, between A to any point S, between A to any point let it be D. Okay, so between any 2 points, wherever there will be a time of journey to be calculated between any 2 points, either they are intermediate points or they are the initial and final points. If vertical separation is available between them, between which you want to know the journey time, you can definitely use S is equal to ut plus half at square along vertical, where S will be along vertical line, U will be along vertical line, and G will also be appearing along the vertical line, right? So I hope that that theoretical content in the last video and its few cases discussion has definitely helped you, and this will help you to understand projectile with a more better clearness, right? And that will help you to solve your, to enhance your numerical solving skill, and that will help your scoring ability, either it is the class 11 based learning is concerned or you are looking for JEE or NEET. So I hope you are getting benefit from this channel. So this support you will be continuing with us, and you'll support us by sharing our videos, subscribing our channel, and encouraging others to come and watch the videos on this platform. Thank you.